Hi everyone and welcome back. As you can see, the tail fin is off. In this video, we will be upgrading key components and we will bag the bike. I can say the last 2 weeks have been a complete success, testing my bike thoroughly and making important changes to my position to ensure I don't end up with hand issues. If you haven't seen last week's video, I'll link it at the end of this one. So there is less than a week to go. In just a few days, I'll be flying to Osaka, Japan to make my way down south to Wakayama to catch a ferry to Tokushima. I'll make my way to Temple 1 where I'll collect my pilgrim attire and begin my pilgrimage around the island of Shikoku, cycling to the 88 temples. It's going to be an incredible experience full of history, culture, and no doubt some serious challenges. But before I pack this bike up to travel, let's upgrade some parts. First up, valves and tyres. I'm replacing the 80mm valves as they were starting to deteriorate and get clogged up. I could have just replaced the valve core. As you can see, it's not letting out any air. So I'm just replacing the lot. I'm putting a brand new GP 5000 32mm tyre on the rear because it'll be carrying most of the load. The rear tyre wears out faster under weight, so it makes sense to have a fresh one for durability and grip, and this will be set up tubeless also. I'm using orange seal sealant in the tyres as it is probably the most reliable. The syringe is a 30mm syringe, plus the straw you're looking at around 40mm per injection, and I use this ×3. 120mm of sealant, overkill, but it doesn't matter. I have used muck-off sealant also in the past and it is also really good, and it comes in a travel size, so this is my backup. Brake pads. The next thing I wanted to change was the brake pads. I changed the rear rotor from a 140 to a 160 for extra stopping power. That was about 2 months ago, and in that conversion I also changed the brake pads. As you can see, lots of life left on them. With the weight of my setup and the amount of descending I'll be doing, I want maximum stopping power. Fresh brake pads mean better control, safety, especially in the wet conditions or on long descents. Cassette. Next up, I'm changing the cassette. I had to wait a few days for the bike shop to get one in for me. It's an entry-level 1134 105 cassette from Shimano. Nothing fancy here, Shimano entry-level products are great. The one I've been using has seen a lot of kilometers and I don't think I've changed this in years. And when you change the cassette, you also change the chain. Starting the trip with a brand new chain will keep my drivetrain running smoothly and efficiently. A worn chain can cause premature wear on the cassette and chain rings. I just used the old one for reference, cut the new one to match, chain on. And a quick shift of the gears to check rotor rub and to see if the shifting needs to be adjusted. Bike saddle over the neck to suspend and shift away. This is how I do it with no bike stand, and I have tried this with the tail fin on and almost threw my back out. Bagging up the bike. So here we go. This is how I pack my bike bag. I'm packing my bike into the Cycon Aero Comfort 3.0 TSA bike bag for travel. The bag itself weighs 5 kilos empty. First I remove the front wheel, install the brake block, and then place the forks into the inner cage and secure it with the through axle. The bag itself is designed to hold the bike without too much disassembly, but I'm going the extra step for added security. I'm removing the chain and rear derailleur to ensure they don't get damaged during transit. Then I take the rear wheel off, set it aside. Both wheels will go into the side pockets of the bag later. All these small parts, including the chain and derailleur, are going into my bike frame bag, where they'll be safe and secure inside the bike bag. I place the tail fin over the top tube bag and I'll secure it to the saddle. Next, I use the extra space in the bag to pack my gear around the bike. Tent, sleeping bag, tent poles, pump, hip bag, along with other things to go in the bottom of the bag. My baggage allowance is 30 kilograms, so I can load this up if I want. I'd rather be safe than sorry than pay for the overloading baggage fees at the airport. I slide the rear wheel into one of the side pockets. The front wheel, I place a protective cover over the dynamo hub, the side that has the electrical connections. If this breaks, then my ability to be self-sufficient is over. Add a couple of pull noodles to the fork legs, and as you can see, I'm adding a pull noodle across the levers, cutting holes for the hoods of the levers into the noodle and cutting it longer than the handlebar. This is used to create dense support across the brake levers and handlebar, especially since this bike will be lying down on its side at some point, guaranteed. The pull noodle acts as structural reinforcement, preventing direct pressure onto the handlebar. Instead, the weight and pressure will be distributed across the bag, adding extra protection and security. I'm covering the bike with pull noodles, ensuring all the key areas are cushioned: forks, chainstays, crank arms, and the legs of the tail fin. I'll use the built-in straps to hold everything securely in place. The legs of the tail fin are loosely secured around the rear triangle to keep everything in place. The last thing to do is connect both sides of the bag together with the straps. Straps over the saddle, over the top of the frame, zip the back of the bag towards the front, compress the noodle around the sides of the bars into the bag, making it tight across the top. Zip the front of the bag up and over, and that's it. We're packed up and ready to go. Carry on. When it comes to flying with my bikepacking gear, there are a few important things that I have to keep in my carry-on. That includes essential electronics, my camera gear, drone, phone, battery chargers, and everything I need to charge my bike. Certain items like CO2 canisters for tire inflation are considered dangerous goods and typically can't be checked in, but you can take them in your carry-on. Bike bag storage. One of the biggest logistical challenges for this trip was figuring out what to do with my bike bag while I was on the pilgrimage. I got in contact with a number of hotels well in advance to see if they can confirm that they could store my bike bag for me whilst I'm doing this pilgrimage. One hotel had to go in that also specifically caters to cycling tourists. That's one train stop and a 5-minute walk away from the station. Told me that as long as I was a returning guest to stay with them, they would be happy to keep my bike bag in their storeroom until I return. Absolute legends. And with that, my bike is finally dialed in. New cassette, chain, brake pads, and that fresh rear tyre ready for the journey ahead. But as with any adventure, things don't always go to plan. Cyclone Alfred has hit the east coast of Australia, and unfortunately, I had to push my flight back a week. It's a bit of a setback, but nothing that will stop this pilgrimage. If you found any of the tips and tricks in this video useful, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you're excited for this journey ahead, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the start of this adventure. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks.